Hello lovelies, today I'm sharing the 10 pieces that women over 45 will always regret buying. Looking current isn't necessarily about chasing every trend. It's quite simply avoiding some of the pieces that make your wardrobe feel left behind. So today I'm sharing the mistakes that I keep seeing time and time again. Welcome back, and if you're new, I'm Zeba, and I'm so excited that you're here. I'm here to help you figure out what to wear, how to wear it, so that you approach getting dressed with a new confidence. So make sure to hit the subscribe and notification button so that you don't miss a video. The first item that you'll always regret buying is a fast fashion blazer. Now, as always, there are exceptions, but for the most part, you will always regret buying that super cheap blazer because it just will never quite look right. It won't flatter your figure. It'll age very quickly. You'll always have to be steaming it and ironing it. I find that a lot with like super cheap polyester that never quite gets there. Cheap blazer is always going to just sit at the back of your closet. Every now and again, Zara drops a couple of really great blazers under 100 that just stand the test of time, and somehow they get it right. Now, my ride or die blazers that I can really count on are number one, Zazan. The Zazan blazers are beautifully cut and you can have them for years and years. Nothing happens to them. They're almost like wrinkle resistant. I find that I can just reach for them and they look like I just got them last week. Also, Ralph Lauren make some of my favorite blazers from this Jacquard logo blazer that is a little bit more fashion forward and super comfortable, that I've had for years and years. So this herringbone wool blazer that I wear nonstop every single fall winter for the last 5 years. Now, if you want something like this but don't want to spend that much money, Quince has a couple of really great ones that also look amazing. Like the wool blazer emulates the style of the herringbone from Ralph Lauren. Also, the linen blazers are really beautiful and look very expensive. Investing a little bit of money will really go the mile for you. And if you are looking to get a really great blazer, then sit tight because the Nordstrom anniversary sale is sure to have several of them that we will love. Number two is trending denim. It's really easy to get swept up, especially when stores and brands are really pushing it your way. Now, this can work out for you because this fashion is meant to be fun and to be inspired and kind of seasonal and to introduce new trends into your wardrobe. Really, I think why we're all here, because we are looking for that inspiration and to explore different sides of ourselves. However, when that particular fashion trend does not translate into your lifestyle, your body shape, or it doesn't go with everything else in your closet, then you're not gonna wear it. You'll always regret purchasing it. Some of these trends for me are the super exaggerated horseshoe barrel jeans. I have come around and I do love a couple, including this white pair and also these by Air jeans. The best thing that you can do with denim is, number one, is it comfortable? Does it flatter your body type? The good news is that now brands are so hyper aware of different inseams, different rises. Now, some of the jeans that I never regret buying, a slight boot cut or flare that feels very elongating. Now, the accessories that will always let you down are the ones that are super plastic and heavy, and what I'll call the Chico's plastic statement necklaces and accessories. I recently went in there with my mom. It's one of her favorite stores. In the past, I have also found a couple of pieces that are super cute that I too walk away with my Chico's bag. This visit, I noticed that in the middle of the store, there was like tons and tons of trays of so much plastic, blatantly cheap, inexpensively made things where you can kind of see the plastic seam, if you know what I mean. Like you can kind of see where it was like kind of glued together. That is a purchase that you will always regret, because not only will it not make you look modern or confident, because you'll probably be rattling around as you wear this, but it will also date you a little bit, which is why I'm so excited to share today's sponsor. Lola Rose is one of my favorite watch brands of all time. I have shown you this one over the last couple of years. It's a really beautiful black leather strap. I wanted to show you Miss Lola green onyx watch. The dial features a dazzling starry design, embedded zircon stones, and the three-dimensional watch mirror is paired with a gold-plated bracelet. The natural green onyx is one of the brand's most iconic green gemstones. You can customize it. So I was able to engrave my name back here. It says Zeba, and this is another key feature for me. I love jewelry that feels very personal. You can carve initials, a special date, just to make it an extra special gift for yourself or a loved one. Lola Rose was founded in 2000 in London by a British designer. Nikki Gawart's the designer wanted to bring a brand that would allow for a touch of glamour and timeless chic to everyday outfits. One of the reasons I love it and have worn Lola Rose in the past is when I'm looking for an old money aesthetic timepiece to beautifully finish out my outfits but not compete with them. At the same time, I love that it feels a little bit more modern, and Lola Rose challenges traditional design using natural colorful gemstones, creating distinctive timepieces and accessories with a beautiful British vintage aesthetic. They're having a sale right now, so don't miss it. You can also use my code for an extra 10% off. And the other watch that you may have seen me wear in my last couple of videos, this is dainty mother of pearl leather watch. That is what classy dreams are made of. It goes with everything, always so classy. It's got a delicate square dial that feels both refined and timeless. Offers a very vintage inspired silhouette, which is why I love it. Gemstone is crafted from mother of pearl and is the ultimate touch of elegance. Each piece is uniquely patterned and adds a nice feminine glow to any outfit. The crown is also adorned with black onyx, enhancing the overall sophistication and luxury of the timepiece. The classic brown leather strap adds a subtle vintage finish. It goes so beautifully with everyday neutrals, which is why I've been wearing it on repeat. Don't forget about my discount code with Lola Rose Zeba10 for timeless timepieces that you're gonna wear on repeat and love. Now that we've nailed our accessories, let's talk about basics, because this is a really easy one to get wrong. I'm a huge believer that you don't have to spend a fortune on the basics that we know we need for a very easy turnkey daily wardrobe. We're talking t-shirts and tank tops that many of us reach for layering and everyday wear. When you get into trouble is when you skimp on the material, particularly when it comes to a very cheap polyester blend and it almost is like slightly stiff. Some Amazon and Zara pieces in particular where you put them on and cling to everything they're not supposed to, including showing like where your bra strap is. They never quite get unwrinkled. It's like almost magical. You can steam and iron them, and no matter what you do, like they're still look frumpy. This is a surefire way to completely diminish the overall quality of your look. Pieces that perform really well without the huge price tag are organic basics. They're 100% organic cotton t-shirts that I have really leaned into. I have a discount code as well in case you want to shop their beautiful array of t-shirts. They have everything from boxy to more of like your crew neck or tighter tees. Also, Lily Silk has really lovely jersey materials that you crave wearing and that always look flattering. They just drape beautifully on the body, and it's night and day when it comes to how you look in them. It makes your outfit look so much more expensive. You also deserve to put something on your body that feels good versus like some of these cheaper materials that are really scratchy and itchy and they never quite feel good or they don't breathe. You want those breathable materials that you look forward to wearing and that you forget that you're wearing, much like this watch, like you just forget, kind of like almost liberated with when you put it on. Number 5 is comfortable shoes that end up being uncomfortable. And so at this point, we all know that if we're gonna buy a heel, we're gonna have to make some compromises about how long we're gonna wear them, where we're gonna wear them to. We're maybe looking for some trade-offs, like do they have traction on the bottom? Can I get away with that? Do I do a wedge? We've kind of learned tricks and hacks as to what we're looking for when it comes to being as comfortable as we can in a heel. What I'm talking about are like these shoes that are supposed to be comfortable and they're not. Like you don't wear them even though there might be sneakers. For me, these are like the Veja sneakers. I think I'm saying it right. That every time that I wear them, they're super cute, retro, low profile sneakers that everybody has. I got them a few years ago. I've literally worn them like 10 times because every time that I wear them, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, these are sneakers, okay? Like what went wrong here? You know what I mean? Some flip-flops can really hurt your feet and you're like, wow, they're flat. Why am I in so much pain? Including some loafers. Being very honest with yourself when you first try on the shoe and having a surface where you can kind of play around with it, like jump around, give it a little test before you take it for a real test run. If you have carpet or rugs around your house, like walk around in them for a little bit and see like, how do I feel? You can't just like rip the tag off and be like, these are gonna totally work. There are 2 shoes that I'm really impressed that I just got. In terms of the comfort, they're the Gazelle Adidas and the Tokyo Adidas. And maybe I have been brainwashed with soccer because like right now my family's watching the World Cup downstairs while I'm here. So I'm just like trying to like muffle their cheering for the US team here. But anyway, these are super comfortable, as are the Quince low profile sneakers. And Quince in general has really comfortable shoes as well, that like the loafers and things that end up fitting. Next, we have buying the thing that we love in the same color. This is something you will always regret, because guess what happens? You think to yourself, wow, like for example, this. I wear this all the time. It's Magnolia Cashmere Tee by Quince, and I love it so much that many times I think to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have it in a black and a camel, navy? But you know what would happen if I were to do that? I would end up wearing the one that I got first, which is this one, because this is the color that I chose. Like when push came to shove and I had to choose one, I chose this one. And many times in our day-to-day, this is exactly the mentality that we have when we're picking out stuff from our racks, is when push comes to shove and you have to put on your body, you're gonna pick the one that you picked that one initially. Trust me, I've been there, done that. There are very few exceptions where you're like, wow, I am living in this and I want to be like Steve Jobs, you know, he'd wear his little black turtleneck. I want to kind of do that kind of capsule wardrobe, and I want to wear the same thing over and over again. And you know that it's going to be part of your daily uniform, and you could use maybe even like an alternative so that you have time to wash it and stuff. Then, okay, fine. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, what have I ever bought that I approve myself of getting two of them? One are the Barrel-Like jeans by Quince. I love them so much in one shade of blue that I ultimately got them in a different shade of blue. Why? Because again, as I spoke about earlier about denim trends and finding my perfect denim, once I found a shape and a length that really worked well for me, and you know, I don't have to tell you how hard it is to find denim that works for you. I thought that my wardrobe will benefit by having two shades of this same pair of denim. The other time that I've done that is with another Quince item, which is their silk notch shirt, which I wear constantly. And I got in a black and I got in a brown. They're my two favorite colors. And literally just depending on like my palette for the day, that's which one I will go to, but it doesn't become super competitive. And it's something that I layer on nonstop in the fall, winter, and even wear into the spring an embarrassing amount of times. Next, we have the dressy pieces that you only wear once. The good news about this is that it's up to you to fix it. You don't necessarily have to stop buying something that makes your heart skip a beat. Like you're like, wow, I really want this piece, and you have this occasion in mind, and then occasion comes and goes and it's just kind of hanging in your closet. You're empowered to bring it back out, and I challenge you to figure out how to make it more casual, how to make it so that you can wear it more, dress it down, pair it with sneakers, with those very comfortable pair of shoes, with a t-shirt that's really high quality. For the most part, shoes are probably your best friend when it comes to doing this, because shoes really set the tone for the occasion. So if you have one of these pieces, including a dress that might feel a little bit too glamorous, and if you're wearing a more approachable pair of shoes, then that instantly sets the tone for the occasion. There's also things that you can do with your accessorizing, or even like your hair, like bringing it up in a top knot, or just like maybe wearing, I don't know, big hoop earrings that make feel a little bit more casual, or a tote bag that feels more relaxed. Stick some French bread in there just for drama. But these are things that you can do to just bring those pieces down and challenge yourself to wear it more. Just this month, just pick out one thing that you love, that was love at first sight, and that you felt so beautiful when you wore it, but you haven't worn it since because you feel like it's too dressy. I challenge you to this month, take it back out and figure out how to make it a little bit more casual. Now, this is especially easy to do if that dressy piece is not high maintenance, and that's our next piece that we will always regret buying. It's the high maintenance pieces. And I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I see something that's so crisp and, you know, it just looks beautiful online, and then I get it and I make all this effort to make sure that it looks very presentable. And then I have to work so hard for it to look great every time that I wear it, in the form of steaming, washing, ironing, all the things. Or even worse than that, because that has a workaround, but once you wear it, you're itchy or you're constantly adjusting. That is the surefire way to crush your confidence. Like if you're just aware of like, wow, I am so itchy in here, or if I don't keep doing this, like it's gonna fall off, or if I don't keep like pulling it down, then it's gonna ride up. You're not gonna wear it. It's gonna ruin your style. You will always regret buying these pieces. Number 9 are micro trends that you feel are really trendy that you keep seeing everywhere. This goes back into especially when you're like a shopper at stores, and every time that you walk in, you see the same kind of things on the display, and you're like, wow, this must be really trendy. And over time, it's almost like when you hear a song on the radio and then you keep hearing it. At first, you're like, don't think about it. And then before you know it, you're singing along. Before you know it, you're like, okay, fine, I like the song, okay? This happens often, right? These microtrends are things that you will always regret buying because you're not getting them because you love them truly. You're loving them because they keep being in your face. And so once you're faced with what to wear for the day, you're not going to pick it because it was not a true love. Like if you see a micro trend, for me, this was lace trimmed anything. I love lace trimmed camis, lace trimmed blazer sleeves, the skirts. When I see this micro trend, it's a no-brainer for me because I'm already attracted to it. But on the other hand, if I'm seeing jelly shoes everywhere, and every brand, cheap or luxury, has a jelly substance in their shoes, and after a while I'm like, fine, I'm gonna wear it. I know that I'm not really into that. And so if I just give in because it's everywhere and it's just this tiny little micro trend that I had to work hard to get to, then I'm always gonna regret it because I'm just not gonna reach for it. A 180 from that is buying what you absolutely love over and over again. And this is a purchase that you will regret because most likely you already have it in your closet. And what it ultimately does, it confuses your choices in the morning, because instead of choosing between your white button down and the black t-shirt, instead of choosing between an array of silhouettes, colors, and textures, now you're choosing between 5 white button downs. How are you going to choose which one? That takes up so much energy in your mind, and it takes up space in your closet, it takes up money from your wallet, and ultimately it robs you of confidence because then you have that indecision of like, what do I wear? Which one am I gonna wear? All of these add up to that classic problem of, why do I have nothing to wear? Sometimes it's because you have a closet full of clothes that you really love, but you keep buying the same thing over and over again. I'm guilty of that myself with a tuxedo velvet blazer that's super popular during the holidays. I got one from Ralph Lauren, which is a brand that I absolutely love. And then, lo and behold, I had an H&M one, I had a Target one from like 10 years ago, I had a Club Monaco one, and guess what? Which one am I supposed to wear? But why didn't I know that I had all these already in my closet? That's terrifying. Makes you think a little bit more strategically about your next purchase so that you can buy it with confidence. Be like, yep, I'm gonna wear it, because that's the best feeling. I also just did a video on your favorites that are July bestsellers. Make sure to check it out, full of beautiful pieces that women over 45 are loving. I'll see you there. And if you learned something today, make sure to hit the subscribe button.